best parts of our community is the involvement of its people. And these businessmen in this town here are very active in the community, very active in contributing to various aspects of the communities, and I feel it's a double burden.
Okay, thank you. Now we're done with the questions, and it's time for the closing statements. And those, you each have 5 minutes for a closing statement. And Mr. Gardino, you go first.
I go first. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for having me here, and thank Kevin Kelly as well. You know, what I thought about for my closing statement is that I would try to give you some background for those that don't know me. A little bit about myself. I've been involved in town here for quite a number of years, but you know, I'm a graduate of Holy Cross with a master's degree from Bentley. I'm a certified public accountant. I worked for the Department of Revenue for about 16 years. Was chief of the Abatement Bureau and chief of audit policies and procedures. For the last 12 years, I've been in practice as a CPA, and while this is my first run for political office, I've always been involved in community service. Professionally, I've been involved with the Mass Society of CPAs. I was chairman of the State Tax Committee. I've had through that committee and through my chairmanship, I've had the honor of testifying before the state legislature on tax matters. I've met probably on a weekly basis during that period of time with the legislature to discuss pending legislation, and met with DOR as well on tax matters that affect the entire state. In that role, I worked to inform 5,000 CPAs on state tax issues and represent them, as I say, before the legislature. After that, I was on the board of directors for the Mass Society of CPAs. On a personal level, I have been president of Little League for the last 10 years. I guess now I'm still on the board of Little League. I'm president emeritus, which means I guess I'm some form of consultant. And other than my family, this has probably been the most rewarding part of my life. Little League is a wonderful program. We've been able to grow the program from 350 participants in the spring to an all-year-round program now that has 850 kids in the spring alone, well over 1,200 involved totally. And I think the reason for that is probably a reason that reflects what my values are. We don't view the program necessarily as a kids program. We view it as a family program. We view it as involving families. We believe strongly in participation in teaching. We're less concerned with competition and winning, and more concerned with participation. So that has really been one of the most rewarding parts of my life. Personally, I'm married to my beautiful wife, Kathy. I have 4 children, Philip, Sarah, Michelle, and Joey. 2 of them are college graduates. And my son, Joey, is a senior at North Reading High and going to college in the fall. And that is kind of how I came to decide to do this. I feel now that my son is going to college, I really have the time to devote to this. No longer am I doing Little League, but I now have the time to devote to this. We've lived here 18 years. We really moved here because of the recommendation of my Aunt Claudia, who taught here for over 35 years. I feel that I bring 3 skills to bear in the job of selectman. The first is knowledge of fiscal systems. I am a CPA. I've been involved in taxation really all my adult life, and I think I know fiscal systems and how they work. The second thing I think I can bring here is team building skills. I have managed large groups at the Department of Revenue. I have also worked with a variety of diverse people and diverse groups at both the Mass Society of CPAs, Little League, and DOR. I got 1 minute left, huh? The final thing is problem-solving skills. It is what I feel is my greatest strength. I think I bring creativity, I develop creative solutions. My probably single best strength, in my opinion, is that I'm strong in identifying the common ground of an issue, identifying the item in an issue that is that affects everybody involved, or in trying to focus on that and build off of that. So the last thing I'd like to mention is that I really believe that this town, the greatest resource in this town is its people. It's a diverse population of caring people that are involved and creative. I'm really a believer in participation. I think I'd like to see us increase the participation in town government, increase the participation, the variety of people that are involved in the committees and in town government in general. Thank you very much.
And Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, thank you. I too would like to thank the members of the league for holding this. Great way to be able to reach the people and express our views, and also I'd like to thank Phil. It's been interesting, and it's been above board, as they say. A little bit about myself. I'm a graduate of North Andover High School and Phillips Andover Academy. I attended and graduated from Ohio Wesleyan University with a degree in economics, and I have my master's degree in education from Cambridge College. I'm employed as a physical education teacher in the town of Methuen. I'm also a football coach, have been since I got out of college 20 some odd years ago. I've coached at the college and high school level. I officiate lacrosse. I've coached numerous sports. That is what I've done with my life's work. And it has been my privilege to serve as a member of the Board of Selectmen for the past 3 years. During my tenure on the board, I've tried to bring a common sense approach to the deliberations of issues which have been brought forth to the board. If the matter will have a financial impact upon the town, as many of them do, I always weigh my decision by determining is this a need as opposed to a want? And how will this affect the overall picture of all of our town's citizens' ability to pay? I always try to look at the big picture and realize that we have issues facing us that are, or soon will be, absolute necessities that we must fund in order to provide quality services to all of our citizens. If we just say yes to everything, then it will eventually impact our ability to provide what we must provide in order to remain a desirable community in which to live. My wife Brenda, who's a lifelong resident of the town of North Reading, and I are both school teachers, so we know the importance of education. Our household is also diverse. It includes my mother-in-law, Miss Jean Lastinger, who's a retiree on a fixed income, Ben Hodgkins, who's a freshman out at UMass, Amherst, Danielle Hodgkins, who's a junior at North Reading High School and soon to be tri-captain of this girls' soccer team next year, which we're very proud of, Amber Hodgkins, an 8th grader at the North Reading Middle School, and Jerry Callaghy, a preschooler who will soon enter our school system. So while education and appropriation of adequate school budgets is for us a high priority, I also know the importance of keeping North Reading affordable for all its residents, especially its older citizens on fixed incomes and others struggling to make ends meet. We must find new and creative ways to meet the financial challenge of providing quality education in our schools, sound and modern facilities for education, fire, police, government, and public works, as well as the proper services for our residents. We must accomplish all this without creating a tax burden that would force out any segments of our citizen population. It is an enormous task. That is why I advocate the development of a long-term, comprehensive master plan for the ongoing modernization and maintenance of our schools, municipal buildings, and town infrastructure. This plan must present a method and approach taxpayers can afford. It must avoid sudden and rapid tax hikes. It must consider selling off existing town assets to help pay for new and improved town assets. It must also explore the use of a dual tax rate to minimize tax increases for homeowners. My record over the last 3 years as selectman demonstrates my common sense approach to town government. I supported the LD Batchelder school renovation as a practical way to meet our elementary school needs. With regard to this project, I came out strongly in favor of more affordable alternatives to the slate roof, placing economics and the children's safety ahead of aesthetics. I have always supported solid funding for direct student services in our schools and will continue to do so. I also urge expediting commercial development of the J.T. Berry property to raise tax revenues. If re-elected, I will continue pursuing practical solutions to the needs of all our citizens, especially seniors, for whom we need to provide more affordable housing, enhanced programs and services, and other means of tax relief. One of the most important functions of a selectman is to appoint and oversee the membership and direction of town boards and committees. For the past 3 years, I have respectfully stood up to appointed boards when their decisions would negatively impact homeowners and taxpayers. When considering appointments to boards, I pledge to support those qualified persons who will treat the taxpayers and each other with respect, regardless of their opinions. Membership on town committees must reflect the diversity of opinion in our populace. I have thoroughly enjoyed my first term as a member of the Board of Selectmen. It has afforded me the opportunity to meet and work with some dedicated and truly talented individuals. I believe that my ability to serve the people of North Reading has increased each of the 3 years I've been on the board, as there is no substitute for experience. The board...
Can I ask you to
May I
just
finish?
finish your last sentence?
Well, okay. All right. I would just ask that you please give me your vote on May 3rd so that I can strengthen my efforts to keep North Reading both desirable and affordable and continue to represent the common sense views of the taxpayers.
Thank you very much, and I think these folks deserve a round of applause. To the uncontested candidates, but beforehand, I should do this.
Good luck.
We should do this, okay, just while we still have your attention, the League of Women Voters Annual Yard Sale, Saturday, May 21st on the Town Common. And who's, you want to do first?
Is Chris Hayden here yet? Just so we know, okay.
Okay.
So I would go with this
Okay. We're going, I'm going to ask the uncontested candidates to come up and sit in the chair and speak into the microphone. First, we're going to hear from Mr. Steve Derby, who is a candidate for re-election to the school committee. And feel free to stick around. There's brownies and coffee, and maybe you can ask the candidates a few more questions. Mr. Derby.
I don't think I've ever sat in this chair before. Let me start with some thank yous. Thanks to the League of Women Voters for doing this again and again and again. It's a valuable service that you provide for the candidates and for the citizens. I appreciate it. I also want to thank the two candidates who just sat up here for all of their glowing words about North Reading Public Schools. I think the schools deserve them, and I'm grateful to the candidates. I also want to thank the citizens for having let me serve 6 terms as a school committee member, and having had some small share in developing the schools that we have. They've been good years. They've been very good years. I have a rare opportunity right now to sort of sit back and reflect on what has happened in our schools and in education generally. It will surprise many of you to realize that it was only about 25 years ago that serious research began to be issued on educational issues. And that has revolutionized education in this country, and it's had a tremendous impact here in North Reading too, because of a couple of very visionary superintendents that I've been privileged to serve with. Frank O'Donoghue was one of the finest superintendents of his generation. He was superintendent when I was first elected. He began a professional development program, which is one of the main reasons why North Reading Public Schools rank among the top in the Commonwealth, in spite of the fact that we actually spend less per capita than most of the communities in the Commonwealth. We don't have new numbers since we were granted an override this year, but prior to that we were well down in the bottom 10% of the Commonwealth's communities in terms of per capita spending, and yet we continue to turn out excellent education. Professional development